Easability in the thesis process. Hi, I'm Gabby from mythesiscoach.com, and I want to talk about this amazing new word I came across last week, which is easability. Isn't it just beautiful? For me, it encompasses everything that is simple, everything that is aligned to your purpose, everything that makes you feel good in the moment. When I think about what easability is, I also think about what easability is not. Easability is not struggle. Easability is not pain. Easability is not anxiety. Easability is the opposite of all of those. It's flow. It's productivity. It is, dare I even say, joy. Now, let me be perfectly honest with you. When I did my PhD thesis, I did not have easability. I found it painful. I found it really hard. I'm so glad that I did it. I learned so much. I grew so much, all of that stuff. But when I look back over those years, I think, what is it that I could have done that would have brought more easability into my journey? Or what is it that I know now as a writing coach that I could have implemented? And those are the things that I want to share with you today. How can you bring easability into your thesis writing? So I've got 4 things to suggest. Thing number 1 is work at the times of day that are right for you. Now, you know when you are most productive. I'm amazing in the morning. I'm brilliant late at night. I'm useless in the afternoon. Now, when I was really hitting crunch time and I knew I had to crank out the writing, I would sit down, I'd do my morning session, but I'd come back in the afternoon. It was hard, it was painful, it was a slug, it hurt. Easability for me is working at those times when I can just fly through it. So think to yourself, what are your ideal working times? And can you find ways to bring more of your thesis work in at those times? Thing number 2 to do for more easability is know your thesis writer type and work towards that, not against it. I've actually got an awesome quiz. You're going to love it. It's mythesiscoach.com/quiz. And there, through a few couple of questions, I'll share with you what your thesis type is and also give you some resources to know how best to manage that. But let me explain to you what I mean by this. If you are the kind of person who juggles a million tasks, you're so busy, you've got life, you've got work, you've got family, you've got thesis, you've got everything. If you're one of those people, the rule that you need to work on your thesis every day just might not work for you because you're so busy. And if you try to do work on your thesis every day and you end up missing a couple of days, you're going to end up feeling bad, all the self-loathing, the imposter syndrome, all those beautiful academic things. So my advice is to work towards your type. Use the unique features of your thesis writing type to put in place motions, actions, plans, and systems that can enable you and give you the most chance of thesis easability. So go check out my quiz, mythesiscoach.com/quiz. My third tip when it comes to thesis easability is make use of resources that are there to make your thesis life easier. Now, these may be low-tech or high-tech. For example, I am obsessed with these big pens. They're all I use. I found them during my thesis and I love their sharp point at the end. This for me is a resource that makes my process of writing, of academic writing, easier and more enjoyable. So that's a very low-tech example. But there's amazing technology out there that can also really make your process a lot easier. If you struggle with grammar and spelling and expression, go ahead and use Grammarly. If it's a big mission to organize your references and keep track of them, well then Zotero is there for you. If you don't even know where to start with looking for research papers, then go ahead and use Connected Papers. And there's so many more thesis writing apps and stuff out there for you. So I think that being able to integrate those into your practice can really help the easability as well. And my final tip, when it comes to easability, just remember that there is no such thing as a perfect thesis. A big challenge for easability during my thesis process was my own perfectionism, my own wanting to do it right, to do it perfectly. And it was a big stumbling block because, of course, it just was never perfect. So I struggled and etc., etc. So remember, there's no such thing as a perfect thesis, because even when you submit your thesis, remember, it's still going to come back with reviews from reviewers that you still need to fix. And there's always going to be people who criticize it even once it's published. So there's no such thing. A perfect thesis is a done thesis. And if you can look at just done as your goal, immediately there's a lot more easability because a lot of that pressure will lift. So there we go. 4 tips for more thesis easability. And today, thesis easability is what I wish you going forward. Remember to subscribe to this channel. Go ahead and do my quiz, mythesiscoach.com/quiz. And I can't wait to connect with you again. Bye-bye.